Welcome to News Brief.
Okay, quite a bit to get through today.
Absolutely. We've got updates spanning U.S. politics, the economy, of course, immigration.
International relations, and even some really interesting science news, tech and medicine.
Right. So our aim, as always, is to just sort of cut through all that noise.
Pull out the key bits.
Exactly. Give you the essential takeaways so you're, really up to speed without wading through everything yourself.
And what's fascinating here is often how these different threads actually connect. It's not always obvious at first glance.
Definitely not. It's a challenge synthesizing all this daily information.
But that's where you start to see the bigger picture, what really matters.
Okay, so let's start on Capitol Hill then. The Senate Majority Leader, he's initiated the procedural vote.
Right, on the White House's spending cut request, the $9.4 billion one.
That's the one. But its path looks, well, uncertain.
Hearing some Republicans want more specifics.
Yeah, particularly digging into the PEPFAR program details, the Global HIV/AIDS Initiative. Ah, okay. So that's potentially holding things up. It shows how these specific program debates can really stall broader legislation.
It really does. And speaking of holdups, there's another one. Smaller, maybe, but still significant.
Oh.
The canceled FBI relocation. That dispute is actually blocking a wider funding bill.
Which one?
The one for trade and justice.
Wow. So a seemingly, secondary issue can actually derail a whole funding package.
Exactly. Ripples through the whole agenda.
Okay, interesting. What about the courts?
Big ruling from the Supreme Court. They've allowed the president to dismiss almost 1,400 Department of Education employees.
Whoa, okay. That overturns a lower court's injunction then.
It does, and it definitely brings up that perennial question about the balance of power.
Between the executive and the judicial branches.
Precisely. The 3 liberal justices dissented, voicing exactly that concern.
Okay, let's shift over to immigration. Seeing some major shifts there too, right?
Profound shifts, yeah. Looking at internal ICE memos, it seems the administration is planning to revoke access to bail hearings. For whom specifically?
For individuals who entered through unauthorized channels.
So essentially detaining them throughout the entire deportation process.
That seems to be the plan, which, as you know, could mean months or even years in detention.
That has huge implications. Human rights, due process.
Absolutely. And sort of related, an appeals court did briefly extend temporary protected status, TPS.
Oh, for the Afghan citizens?
Yes, about 12,000 of them. So a temporary reprieve there, at least.
Okay. And wasn't there something in California with farm workers?
Yes, a really tense situation. Farm workers announced a national strike. This was after a raid in Camarillo.
How many arrests?
Around 200. And tragically, one farm worker actually died trying to evade the agents.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Understandably, it led to many others missing work just out of fear.
A very difficult situation. Okay, let's pivot maybe internationally. What's happening on the global stage?
Well, what's fascinating is always the dynamic between the major players, isn't it?
Always complex.
So the U.S. delivered those G404 engines to India for their Tejas combat aircraft.
Right, I saw that. Even as India's foreign minister was meeting with China's president.
Exactly. It just shows that complex balancing act in global relationships and alliances.
And the U.S. and Russia.
A very strong threat issued by the U.S. president, talking about a potential 100% tariff on Russia.
100%. Wow. If what?
If no peace agreement in Ukraine is reached within 50 days.
That's a tight deadline. And is there backing for that?
Yes, backed by plans to send Patriot missile systems to Ukraine as well. So significant pressure being applied.
Definitely raising the stakes. Okay, let's talk economy. CPI numbers were out.
They were. The June Consumer Price Index, it showed a 0.3% increase for the month.
Which is pretty much in line with forecasts, right?
Bang on, yeah. And the core CPI, stripping out food and energy.
A less volatile measure.
Right. That rose 0.2%. So annually, the overall index was up 2.7%.
Okay, 2.7%. But the nuance here is important, isn't it?
Always. Go on.
Well, while that overall inflation figure was maybe just a touch above forecast, the real average hourly earnings, wage growth.
Yeah. What about it?
It slowed down, decelerated to just 1.0% annually.
1%. Compared to 2.7% inflation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is, notably below that inflation rate. It really raises questions about purchasing power.
So even if inflation isn't soaring, paychecks aren't keeping up. People are effectively losing ground.
That's what it suggests, yeah. So markets are thinking the Fed holds rates steady in July.
Makes sense.
But expectations are definitely building for maybe a shift in September.
We'll be watching that one closely. Okay, let's jump to technology. Big news out of South Korea.
Oh yeah, LG AI researched. They unveiled something called EXA 1 4.0.
Right, and the claim is it's Korea's first open-weight hybrid AI model.
That's what they're saying. And apparently it's outperforming some top models from the US, China, even France, at least in certain benchmarks.
That's a big claim. And they've put it out there, right? On Hugging Face.
They have.
Yeah.
Made it available on that platform, which is pretty standard now for sharing AI research. Interesting development in the global AI race.
For sure. And sticking with AI, but more on the business side, Nvidia.
Yes. The CEO announced that the Trump administration actually approved the sale of advanced H20 AI chips to China.
Which reverses previous restrictions, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Big policy shift. And Nvidia shares jumped on the news, as you might expect.
Right. Okay, lastly, let's touch on medicine. Some interesting developments there, too.
Yes, from Memorial Sloan Kettering, MSK. First, they're working on a new way to boost immunotherapy
Ow.
by inducing a specific deficiency in cancer cells that have become resistant, trying to make them vulnerable again.
Okay. How are the trials going?
Initial results were a bit mixed, apparently, but they did find that a particular mutational profile seemed to correlate with better outcomes.
So that gives them a specific path forward for refining the approach.
Exactly. A potential biomarker to target. Also from MSK, another study, this one retrospective.
Oh.
Lung cancer surgery, but specifically in patients over 90 years old.
Wow, over 90. What did they find?
Pretty encouraging results, actually. They looked at 118 patients in that age group. 17 had surgery.
And the outcomes?
The median survival after surgery was 43 months. And importantly, no major complications reported within the first 90 days post-op.
That's quite remarkable for that age group. Offers hope.
It really does. Challenges some assumptions about surgical options for the very elderly.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this all mean for you, the listener? It's quite a mix today.
It really is. You've got these mixed signals in the economy, inflation sort of stable, but wages lagging.
Then these pretty fundamental shifts in immigration policy with real human consequences.
And the complex international scene, military aid, trade threats, it's a constant dance.
Plus these, frankly, amazing advances. AI models getting more powerful, new angles on cancer treatment, things that could genuinely reshape the future.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just underscores how fast everything is changing and how interconnected it all is. From global tech competition affecting chip sales
to domestic economic pressures influencing how people feel about their finances.
Right. So maybe a final thought to leave with everyone. Considering all this, the shifting global tech landscape, the economic pressures at home, what single piece of information we discussed today do you think might have the most unexpected ripple effect in the coming months?
That is a great question to chew on. Hopefully, this rundown gave you some clarity, some useful insights into what's happening out there.
We hope so.
Join us next time as we unpack more of the stories shaping our world.